Hello! Today I'm drawing cartoon characters. Here we go. Right into it. The first cartoon characters I'm drawing are Phineas and Ferb. This was one of my childhood favorites. And low-key still holds up. It's still a good show. The songs? Bangers. I listened to the soundtrack while I was drawing this, which was fun. Because it's been a bit. And Phineas and Ferb is actually the reason I wanted to do this video in the first place, is because the live stream on Disney's YouTube channel kept showing up in my recommended of like the whole first season, and I would just like tune in every once in a while to be like, wondering what they're up to. And it made me want to draw them because they're as iconic of the designs they are. What are they? You know what I mean? So I wanted to see what they would look like a little more human-ish. So I tried to do that. They're still pretty cartoony, but they're a little more semi-realistic, more than the original. I was trying to keep the essence of their original face shapes, but like more like a human. So for like Phineas, you know, he's got the triangle head, so I tried to give him more of like a triangle nose and then a weaker chin, which is a face type I've never drawn before. At least I've drawn bigger noses, but never really like a weak chin or jawline. So I'm not sure I did a very good job. Sorry to anyone with weak chins. I failed in your representation. But I did my best. I just felt like that was important because there's like a whole episode where they're like, you don't even have a chin, which is really funny. So that's why I tried to do that, but it didn't work out the way I envisioned it, you know? Yeah, and for his nose, I did try to make the triangle, but I made it a little more sloped than I wish I did. I did my best. I originally had it more pointed, but then I sloped it because I was having trouble drawing it from that angle. I don't know. And then for Ferb, I kept his like square head and then like a square nose, and that's sort of his thing. He also just doesn't have a chin. But I gave him what I felt like it was more important for Phineas to have a weaker chin than for Ferb, because it's never mentioned for Ferb for some reason. So yeah, and then I kept his very neutral expression. I feel like that's important to his character. But his pants, I'm not drawing them that high up. It's I made them a little bit lower. I've never seen anyone wear pants that high up. Ferb pulls it off, but I didn't want to draw that, so I didn't. Also, I don't know how old they're supposed to be. I always got the vibe they were like 8, but maybe that's because I was 8 when I was watching it. Oh, I don't know. The way I drew them, they look more 12, so maybe they're 12 now. Oh yeah, and then for their hair, I gave them both undercuts, or at least I tried to. I don't know how noticeable it is, but like both of them just kind of have hair plopped on top of their heads. So I tried to give them a bit of an undercut to show that, if that makes sense. I also made their hair super messy because I feel like they don't brush it. They're like working all the time. They don't got time to brush their hair, you know? You know, they're building. Maybe it's windy on top of that roller coaster. I just like drawing fluffy, messy hair. Maybe that was it, but you know. I also ended up adding a bit of extra detail onto their clothes because it's more semi-realism. In cartoons, you tend to simplify things. So like Phineas has like 2 stripes on his shirt, or like 3. So I added a few more stripes. And for Ferb, I gave him like a belt and things like that. You know, just some extra details that would look a little more natural on a more realistically proportioned drawing, if that makes sense. I don't know. Am I making sense? Hopefully. I rewatched the Across the World one. The ending song, Summer Belongs to You, that's a banger. Like, genuinely good song. I want to rewatch the movie Across the Second Dimension. I remember that movie being really good. I think it's a lot of the jokes I feel like are still funny. Like, it's not just like kid humor. It's just like humor, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe it's the nostalgia talking, but I think it's a funny show. But yeah, that's how they turned out. In the drawing, they look just kind of differently weird now. They looked weird before, they look weird now. That maybe they're just kind of odd children, and that's okay. We love them. There they are. Next cartoon character is Wyatt from 16. Now, originally, the whole concept of this video was gonna be drawing cartoon characters more realistic. Like I said with Phineas and Ferb, they're kind of super cartoony, and then I was gonna, you know, make them more realistic. But then I couldn't think of any other cartoons that I could draw that I've seen, except for Canadian ones, and nobody knows the Canadian ones except for 16. 16 is a Canadian show, in case you didn't know, and I mean, they're already kind of semi-realistic, so I just kind of drew him maybe a little bit more anime. And I picked Wyatt because guitar. I wanted to draw a guitar because I've only drawn someone playing guitar like one other time. So I wanted to challenge myself. And also, just Wyatt's whole vibe and aesthetic is on point. He works at a coffee shop, he plays guitar. He was the more like polite, soft-spoken one. I vibe with him. I don't think I appreciated him as much as a kid. My favorite when I was a kid was Nikki because she's purple. And you know what they say about people whose favorite color is purple? It's our whole personality. Ignore my background. It's not my whole personality, I promise. But he seems like he'd be my favorite. Also Caitlin. I was thinking about drawing Caitlin because her little lemon hat. But I went with Wyatt because guitar. But yeah, drawing him, it went a little bit more smooth than Phineas and Ferb because he already has realistic proportions. But for some reason I was struggling to capture the essence of his face. So I kept changing it throughout the drawing, you'll see. But I did make sure to include his very quizzical eyebrows. Every reference I looked at, he looked like he was, you know? I tried to include that. I think my main problem is I made his face too round. Like, he has a bit of a longer head shape that I was struggling with. But I think I fixed it by the end. I think it's all good. Yeah, he was fun to draw. He was probably the most fun to draw, and also I think he turned out the best. I think he's my favorite of these drawings. But yeah, drawing this made me think about other Canadian cartoons that I want to draw. So if anyone's interested, I kind of want to do another video drawing Canadian cartoons specifically. But yeah, I don't know if anyone actually cares other than Canadians. Do you guys want to hear about Ruby Gloom and Jacob Tutu? Let me know, because I think that would be fun to do. The last cartoon character I am drawing today is Daphne from Scooby-Doo, who was my favorite character in Scooby-Doo. I wonder why. It's because she's purple. And this was another one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. I would always like jam to the theme song, and I love a good mystery. I've always loved a good mystery. So yeah, I picked Daphne to draw, and I decided to do more of like a portrait of her. I ended up, you'll see me sketching like more like a half body, but I crop it in to be a portrait because I didn't feel like drawing legs, so I didn't. Also, I couldn't figure out what to do with her arms, so I cropped it out. Yeah, the one that I watched most as a kid was What's New, Scooby-Doo. But they got rid of her green scarf in that one for some reason. So I decided to draw the original design of her because I feel like that green scarf is iconic to her. I don't know why she doesn't have it in What's New, Scooby-Doo, and I never noticed that until I was looking it up. So yeah, I did the original design with her little green scarf. And I don't know what style I was going for drawing this. Again, Scooby-Doo's a bit already semi-realism. My definition of semi-realism is very loose, but you know, more semi-realistic proportions than other cartoons. So I guess I went kind of anime, but not really. It's just different. It's not even my style. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I was going with the flow, drawn wherever the drawing takes me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know what style it is, but I sure did it. I sure did it. It sure is a style. Also, for her expression, I'm probably kind of late talking with the expression, but I draw a lot of just people standing there and smiling, and it gets boring. So I decided to do a bit more of a scene type thing, and so I made her look kind of fearful because she's solving a mystery, and sometimes it gets spooky out here, you know? So she's having a spook. She'll be fine. And that's the expression I drew. Also, with her makeup, I wanted to keep that looking, you know, I feel like that's important to her. I think that's part of why it doesn't look like my usual styles, because I don't really draw like lips like that or like eyelashes quite like that. But I wanted to keep the makeup. I feel like that's important, not just for her character, like her personality, but also like she's from the 50s, and I wanted to show this sort of 50s makeup style, you know? So I tried to do that. Does it still take place in the 50s? Or am I just like making assumptions? Just the way they dress, I'm like, that's the 50s right there. I didn't Google it. I'm 90% sure, 80, the percentage is going lower as we speak, percent sure that it's in the 50s. Anyways, yeah, I made it a scene, and I did some lighting. That's new and different from my usual speed paints. I haven't done it in a long time, and I had a lot of fun with the lighting. And I had a lot of fun making her hair very fluffy and adding all the little strands. That's always fun to do. And that's Daphne, yeah. Also, for all of these drawings, don't look at the hands too close. I was too lazy to look up references for any of these, except like looking at the character themselves. So if things are wonky, don't worry about it. This was a little for fun video. Not that any of my videos aren't for fun. They're all for fun. But yeah, this is just kind of a silly one. I just wanted to draw cartoons. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know about the Canadian cartoons, if that's like a thing or not. And I'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really, really good at outros. So this one's no different. This one's incredible. Okay, bye.